Hi, my name is Lana Muhammad, and I am an intuitive astrologer. I'm also a psychic medium and an herbalist as well. I want to welcome you guys to my channel, to my page on IG. Today I'm just doing a small tarot pull. I also have some notes here. And a lot of my best channeling comes from my notes, which is why you will always see a notebook in front of me. But let's just kind of get into it. The last few days have been really intense. They have felt very foggy. I've been super confused. I don't know how you guys are feeling, and you'll have to let me know, in the comments below. But the first card that I pulled, Ten of Swords upright. I feel like it's time to leave unnecessary burdens behind, especially if you have been carrying just old stuff on your back. And for example, I feel like we have to learn how to let things stay dead. You know what I mean? Like, the universe is probably trying to show you you've actually moved past this, but maybe you feel like right now you have to resolve a problem you've already solved. You have to fix something that you've already fixed, or maybe it was declared as, it's just time for me to let it go and stop trying to fix it because maybe it's not broken. It's you are the words that I heard specifically. Like, sometimes it's not so much about a thing that's needed to do, or like a life path, or even a college major or a role that we need to play. Like, sometimes the thing that we really need to study or take on is just ourselves, like, and our path, and the authenticity of ourselves and that path, instead of false ideals about what a journey should or should not look like. Like, you define the journey, you are the journey. And I feel it for a lot of us, and myself included. I've really been noticing the fruits of my labor, and they're subtle. And I say fruits of my labor because I've been doing a lot of work on my mental health. I've been doing a lot of clarification of what brings me joy versus what doesn't, aka authenticity. And in the process of making choices in my authenticity, I have come to understand what resonance feels like, what peace feels like when I make a choice that I know is in alignment with that peace. That has become my path, and it's something that I'm not saying I've mastered. I'm still in the process of learning it, but I have the honor of saying I'm in the middle of this journey. And I think that with the recent transits, especially Uranus going retrograde, we also had that new moon in Virgo, which everything was square with everything. I feel like a lot of confusion, a lot of chaos, a lot of monkey mind came up, and it flung some shit at us that made us feel like, wait a minute. Am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? Or if that's not you, then maybe you could have been hit, like as I mentioned in the beginning, with a dilemma from the past. And now you might feel like you're overthinking it, or you're feeling like, oh, I need to go back and I need to make that choice again because I never resolved it. But I think that what's needed is actually to look at where we're at right now and see all the ways that we've succeeded, or see like what is happening in my life right now. Maybe I don't need to add more. Maybe I don't have to do the most grandiose thing possible. Maybe I don't need to have shame about who I was then and try and make up for it now, because that's not going to get anyone anywhere. I think you need to trust your process, trust that you're in the middle of creation, and trust that the road is going to continue to lead you to where you want to be. But at the end of the day, when we're making our choices, and this came through so strongly for me this morning, which is why I had to share this message with you all, is that if my inner child is not happy, if I don't want to do this because it's going to bring me genuine joy or make me feel satisfied, there's really no point in doing it. And I get it, life's a balance. Saturn is a thing. Sometimes we have to do quote unquote things that we don't want to do. But maybe life should be arranged so that the things that we quote unquote don't want to do support the soul of the thing that we actually do want to do. So for example, like, you enjoy herbalism, you want to be an herbalist, and you want to sell your products. Some of the Saturnian things you might have to do is build a website or network with people, things that you're not as comfortable with, but it's because they're supporting that intention that came from your heart and not the other way around. I challenge you to think differently. Swords. Swords is all about mindsets. We're in Virgo season. It's very mercurial, as is Gemini. Mars is going to be heading out of Gemini very soon. Next, I think tomorrow. And I think with these finishing degrees of it, we're kind of, again, getting more clarity and getting more still in ourselves. Next thing is 10 of Pentacles, but it was actually reversed when I pulled this one. What if you have already won? That is the point that I've been trying to come to in this entire video. And maybe, again, the reason why we need to let ourselves off the hook is because we're doing a lot better than we give ourselves credit for. I know for me, one of the things I really shit on myself about is the fact that I never graduated college, and that I dropped out 2 years in. And it's super emotional for me because I think I had so many ideas about how I'd be successful if I got the diploma and what that meant for me. But also, you know, if you're similar to me and you're a minority, you know, a lot of times, like, it is a special thing in a minority family to go to school and to graduate. It is a sort of like, hey, you're making your ancestors proud, or you're building your life, and life's gonna be better for you, and you don't have to struggle as much. Like, a lot of those mindsets around what it means to be successful, and not just necessarily doing it for myself, but also doing it because of this idea of what it means for my ancestral lineage and my family. It's weighed very heavy on me, and it's led me to a lot of shame, but it's also bled me dry. It has kept me confused about, do I want to do this or do I not? And it keeps making me feel like, you know, something is missing. Like, the school piece is the thing that's missing. But I've come to realize it's not actually about school. It was more about me doing what I wanted to do, and it was more about me loving what I wanted to do and finding that thing that lights me up. And what lights me up is this. I love reading cards for people, and not even reading cards. Like, I love connecting to guides. I love herbalism. I love astrology. I love the ability to help people heal by tapping in to the spiritual realms. And my path is an unconventional one. Not a lot of people have it. I'm not saying I'm the only one doing it. I'm not saying that at all. But in the grand scheme of things and looking at the population, this isn't a career path that, you know, you go to school for, or when you're a little kid, you're like, oh yeah, I want to be a psychic when I grow up. So it leaves room for a lot of comparison. But I say that because 10 of Pentacles reversed to me is about deciding what your success is. And this to me really feels like Uranus and Taurus retrograde. Taurus is about our values. What do I value? Why do I value this? With it being retrograde, I think once again, we're looking at, does this really matter to me or does it not? Uranus, I think, wants us to evolve. It looks to the future. It's an individual. So it would make sense that a lot of these false ideals about what you value are being stripped apart completely. And that's just one example. It doesn't have to be my example, but look at it for yourself. And yeah, like, some of your values might be making you feel like you're an outsider, or the life you want to live is like an outsider. I think that many of us are creative souls at a bare minimum, and we want something that is off the grid. Like, I know recently something that's been super popular amongst people is moving into vans and just kind of traveling the country doing that. And that's just another example of like one of the ways that your life may not look like another person's. I feel like we're learning about the death of conformity. And I also feel as though Pluto stepping back into Capricorn is a review of what I did in order to conform, or what I did in order to quote unquote succeed. And most importantly, how do I get out of that mindset of greed? How do I get out of that mindset of like grandiose success so that I can feel the smaller one? But I think a lot of us have been discovering what success feels like. And we're letting go of the narrow mindsets. Yeah. We're letting go. Final card is Mary Magdalene, a teacher awakenings. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. I'm hearing the word self-liberation, changing the way that I talk to myself, like inner decisions. Also, I think what's important about this is upon finding a lifestyle that is true to you, authentic to you, I believe that our lives teach other people, whether we're actually alive in them or once we've died and someone is like learning about who we were or whatever. What is your life going to say about what you were here to teach? What are you going to show people? You can only do that by choosing to live it and by choosing to live it authentically. I think that creates healing for other people. But that is my message for you all today. I pray that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I'm going to sign off. If you want to book a reading with me, I offer intuitive reading sessions up to an hour longest, where I'm either pulling cards or I'm channeling or some combination of both. I also offer intuitive astrology as well. So the link is www.earthtalana. And if by chance you want to just donate or tip me for this reading, you can Cash App me. You can Venmo me. I will put that in the links below. But yeah, I am going to get off of here. Have a good one. Bye.